Have you ever felt like the world around you is just a grand illusion? A mirage that fades the moment you try to grasp it? What if I told you that your sense of self, the objects you interact with daily, and even the very essence of your experiences are all devoid of inherent existence? It sounds like the premise of a mind-bending sci-fi movie, doesn't it? But no, this is one of the most profound insights rooted in Buddhist philosophy. And today, we're diving deep into it. Hey there, fellow wisdom seekers. Welcome back to another mind-expanding journey. It's your favorite truth-exploring buddy, Matt, here to guide you through a concept that could completely change the way you see the world. Today, we're unraveling one of the most fascinating and challenging ideas in Buddhism, shunyata, or emptiness. Now, before you start thinking this is some bleak, nihilistic philosophy, let me assure you, emptiness is far from meaningless. In fact, understanding shunyata can be one of the most liberating experiences of your life. It has the power to free you from the mental traps that keep you stuck in cycles of suffering and frustration. Imagine a world where you no longer feel weighed down by attachment or fear. Sounds intriguing, right? Throughout Buddhist history, the concept of emptiness has been explored in depth, with at least 5 distinct layers of meaning. Each layer builds on the previous one, creating a transformative view of reality that can shatter your assumptions and open doors to awakening. In this video, we'll take a closer look at these 5 aspects of shunyata. And don't worry, it won't just be abstract philosophy. We'll bring these ideas to life with vivid examples and thought experiments that will make these mind-bending concepts easier to grasp. So, grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and prepare to have your reality turned upside down. Let's begin our journey with Chapter 1, No Self. Our story starts with the teachings of the Buddha himself, found in the Sunyata Sutta. Here, the Buddha drops a profound truth bomb on his audience. The world, he says, is empty of self and anything belonging to self. Take a moment to let that sink in. The very sense of I that we hold onto so tightly, that feels so real and solid, is actually nowhere to be found when we examine it closely. To explain this, the Buddha gives the analogy of a musical performance. Think about it. When you listen to music, there's the musician, the instrument, and the sound. These elements come together to create the experience of music. But here's the question. Can you pinpoint a separate, independent self that's making it all happen? No matter how hard you try, you won't find it. The music arises from a web of causes and conditions, not from some unchanging, inherent essence. And this isn't just true for music, it's true for everything we experience. When we examine our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions, we see that they're constantly changing, arising and passing away based on various conditions. The self we cling to so tightly is really just a convenient fiction, a way to organize our experiences. Let's make this idea even clearer with a metaphor. Picture a rainbow stretching across the sky. It looks solid and real, doesn't it? But when you try to locate it, you realize it's not actually there. The rainbow is an appearance created by specific causes and conditions: sunlight, water droplets, and your position as the observer. It's beautiful, but it's empty of inherent existence. The same goes for the self. Another example is the you in a dream. When you're dreaming, the version of yourself in the dream feels real and solid. But when you wake up, you realize it was just a temporary appearance, a product of your sleeping mind. Similarly, our waking sense of self is like a dream, an appearance that arises due to various causes and conditions, but without any ultimate, independent reality. At first, this might sound unsettling, but here's the liberating part. When we start to see through the illusion of a separate self, we can let go of the anxiety, attachment, and aversion that come with it. We begin to experience life in a more open, fluid, and compassionate way. Now, this understanding of emptiness doesn't stop with the self. The great Buddhist philosopher Nagarjuna takes it a step further, showing that even the objects of our experience are empty of inherent existence. Let's explore this idea in Chapter 2, No Object. As we journey deeper into the concept of emptiness, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered so far. We've explored how both the self and the objects we perceive are empty of inherent existence, and how this understanding can bring a sense of liberation and ease. But now, let's take it a step further. What if the very idea of separation between self and world is an illusion? Chapter 3, No Subject and Object. So far, we've seen how the subject, the self, and the object, the world around us, are both empty of inherent existence. But the Yogacara school of Buddhism takes this even further, challenging one of our most deeply ingrained assumptions, the distinction between subject and object itself. What if this separation, which seems so fundamental to our experience, is nothing more than a mental construct? Let's consider a simple example. Perceiving the color red. In our everyday way of thinking, there's you, the observer, and then there's the color red, existing independently, out there. But according to the Yogacara perspective, this dualistic way of framing experience is fundamentally mistaken. In reality, the redness and the act of seeing it arise together as one seamless experience. They're like two sides of the same coin, inseparable, interdependent, and impossible to exist without one another. Think about it. Can you have a coin with only heads or only tails? Of course not. Similarly, you can't have a perceiver without something being perceived, or an object of perception without a consciousness to perceive it. They arise together in a single, indivisible moment of experience. To make this even more relatable, imagine walking through a lush, vibrant forest. In the traditional way of thinking, there's you, the person experiencing the forest, and then there's the forest itself, existing as a separate entity. But in the moment of direct experience, is there really a separation? The colors of the leaves, the rustling of the wind, the earthy smell of the soil, all of these arise in your consciousness. At the same time, your consciousness is shaped by these sensations. The boundary between you and forest begins to blur, like a dance where the dancer and the dance are one and the same. Or think about the experience of falling in love. In those moments of deep connection, the lines between self and other seem to dissolve. You feel as though your hearts and minds are merging into one, creating a sense of unity that transcends the usual boundaries of individuality. This is a glimpse of the non-dual nature of experience, where the rigid separation between subject and object softens, revealing a more fluid and interconnected reality. This non-dual perspective has profound implications. It suggests that the fundamental nature of reality isn't a collection of separate, independent things, but rather a seamless whole where all elements interpenetrate and define each other. When we talk about emptiness in this context, we're pointing to the inherent freedom and interconnectedness of all things. Here's another metaphor to bring this idea to life. Think of the images projected onto a movie screen. The pictures might seem vivid and real, but they're inseparable from the screen itself. Similarly, our sense of being a separate self is like a projection, a convincing illusion created by the mind. When we start to see through this illusion, we discover a profound sense of liberation and inner peace. But this isn't about escaping or denying the complexities of life. On the contrary, it's about engaging with them more fully, with greater wisdom, openness, and compassion. When we realize that the boundaries we cling to are illusions, we can approach life's challenges with a sense of lightness and flexibility. We can embrace the ever-changing dance of existence, knowing that we're not isolated beings, but expressions of a vast, interconnected whole. This journey through the concept of emptiness has been nothing short of transformative. We've examined the illusions of self, object, and even the separation between the two, uncovering a reality that's far more fluid and interconnected than we might have imagined. But remember, this isn't just a theoretical exercise. The real power of these teachings lies in experiencing them for yourself. So, I invite you to take these ideas into your own life. Observe the moments when you feel separate from the world around you, and ask yourself, is this separation real, or is it just a story my mind is telling? Experiment with seeing the interconnectedness of all things, and notice how it changes the way you relate to yourself, others, and the world. If this exploration has sparked something within you, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who might be ready to see the world through a new lens. Together, let's continue this journey of discovery and awakening, one insight at a time. And as always, remember, the truth you seek isn't somewhere out there. It's right here, in the heart of your own awareness. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and above all, keep opening to the incredible mystery of life. Until next time, may you rest in the vast, open space of your true nature. See you in the next video.